Oh, hello, friends. Let's talk about making Halloween. Here's my next project. Now, friends of mine had a baby just about a week and a half ago. So by Halloween, he's going to be maybe 4 weeks old. I think about 4 weeks old. When I found out they were pregnant, I texted my friend immediately and said, "Dibs on Halloween. Congratulations, dibs on Halloween." So I've waited. I knew they were having a baby boy, and I've waited till he arrived. And then I texted to say, "Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Now, before you're too sleep deprived, already too late, is there anything you want the baby to be for Halloween? Because I can do whatever you want. You are under no obligation to dress your child in what I make for Halloween. You are under no obligation whatsoever to respond and have an idea. I have thoughts. If you don't, I can just send something. But the bottom line is, you cannot stop me from making your infant something for Halloween, and I'm doing it because I love making Halloween costumes for kids. I never once ever wanted a child of my own, but at Halloween time, I want a kid. I want to be able to dress up a kid. So actually, this is the second one I'm doing this year, but this is a more intense one. Now, when I do Halloween costumes for kids, it's full out, people. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm doing a muslin patterning of what I'm going to do. I have sent muslin mock-ups of costumes out to Colorado. I insist that you dress your child up in this muslin. I insist that you take video and or do a FaceTime with me so I can see the child in it, so I can see what's working, and not because it drives me nuts when I can't do a fitting on an infant. Bring the child over here so I can fit the costume properly. We're not doing that. Anyways, my friends had a baby boy and they named him Phoenix. So they said immediately, like, well, what if he was a phoenix for Halloween? I mean, the Firebird? I'm in. So here's what we're doing. I got a pattern from Simplicity. It is pattern number 9215, Simplicity Patterns. And it is a little hooded jumpsuit. So I'm going to use that as my base. Now, what I've already done is, let me show you this. I already took some screenshots of the pattern. Now I'll be able to write on this because here's my intention. Is this recording? Can you even see this? I'm trying to make sure you can actually see this. Can you? Yeah, you can. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm not doing the pocket. All of this doesn't matter. I'm going to make a beak over the just to extend a little bit over the hood here. Feathers. I'm going to use, I'm going to do this out of red polar fleece, okay? The whole thing's going to be out of red polar fleece. Now, I happen to have this fabric in my stock. Look at this stuff. How amazing is this? This was the tongue of the Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors that I made for an 8-year-old many years ago. I'm going to do the hood, so it's like the head out of that, and I'm also going to add a piece like a belly, like the body of the phoenix right here. I hope you're seeing this. And then I'm also going to use that fabric to do like the top of like a bird leg here. Now, what I'm then going to do is, with the polar fleece, I'm going to make basically what will be like a cape on the back so that I can make an entire wing situation. Now, I'm going to use all of these colors of felt. Look at this rainbow colors of, do you see all this? Red to orange to yellow with a very little bit of purple and aqua at the top to make feathers. So kind of off of the body, it will be like the littlest bit of aqua to purple to red mixed into the orange mixed into the yellow, and then I can, stream out feathers. Now, the other thing I'm doing is yesterday I got tissue lame. Can you see the lame over the top of this in all these different colors that I can then add on the top? So I'm going to kind of cut. Here, let's go back to this. Cut, feather shapes, and then do lame over, like stitch lame down the center over them. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to obscure, so you won't even see that it's an arm. It'll all just be feather like body, feather wings all the way across the back of it here. Now on the front, you'll see body, leg. I'm using felt. I've got a deep brown felt to do like the skinny bird legs onto talons over the feet here. And then in the back here, I'm going to add a very wide tail that can go, he's an infant, so it can go very much longer. He's not going to stand up or anything. And then what I can do with those feather ideas is I can kind of add them over the front of the jumpsuit here. So basically all of this will look like we're looking at the back of the tail. So I've obscured all body part of what is jumpsuit. Okay, that's my plan. So the first thing is I've laid out muslin here so I can just cut my pattern because I want to see what it does when I put it together. And the other thing is, with it laid out on an actual muslin, I can then trace more than on this picture. I can draw in, this is where the body is to be, this is what the size of the thigh has to be, this is what the beak can do on the top. I'm probably going to end up having to get, like, literally get a grapefruit to use as a head to, like, to put the hoodie on, so I can figure out where the beak goes on an infant. So anyways, that's my plan. I'm going to cut this thing out and slam it together real easy, quick, fast before I cut into my fabric and get this thing going. So that's where we're starting, folks, and stand by. All right, Halloween's coming. Okay, so now I am slamming together my muslin version of this little baby phoenix. When I say slam together, I mean because I am not using the thread that's the color of the muslin. I am using whatever thread I have in my house. The bobbin doesn't match the top thread. I'm stitching in larger stitches. I'm Frankensteining it. I just want to slam it together so I can see what it does. So here we are so far. I've got a body together without sleeves, but I've got the zipper in. I love this pattern because when I've done things for babies before, I have put in a zipper and then I've added diaper snaps up the legs so that mom and dad can change a diaper for a kid, because it's a child. And yes, it's a costume, but I mean, honestly, there are a lot of adult actors I know who could use diaper snaps. This one I love because this zipper actually extends, and I used a shorter zipper. It would go down to here. The real one will. It goes all the way down the leg, so it saved me the trouble. And it also has the nice feature of a little extension underneath. So this will be a soft, because you don't want this rough edge of a zipper up against a baby. That's just mean. So the fact that this gives me an extension is lovely. Now, what I can do from here is, like I'd shown you yesterday on this, I can draw for myself where I want the phoenix's body to be. And I can then in real time, I can say, okay, so it'll go here, ba, 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 like that. I can work out where the thigh is going to be, where's the body. So I can work that out in real time on this muslin really easily. So that's where we are today. I'm slamming through it. The house starts to look like the Detroit. It's clean so far, but it starts just as I cut things and it's thrown under the table. And then the cleanup crew has to come through, because if I don't do the cleanup crew, certain little furry individuals will come through and say, like, ooh, what's that we can play with? We don't want that. So I'm going to continue slamming through this muslin version and update you later. Okay, bye. Do I look like a pilgrim? Okay, this is the hood in muslin. Now, I have told people before, and people think I'm making it up, I have bought hats for myself at Baby Gap. I have a small head. Now, granted, this isn't on me, and it's going to be a lot smaller once it's stitched, but this is a pattern for an infant's head, and it fits onto my head. Yes, it's a hood. It's not going to fit the infant, but the point is, I have a small head. Anyways, I'm already deviating from the pattern, which is something I do. Like when I put that zipper in, it's got you like unzip the zipper, pin the one side down, stitch it up a D, ba, ba, ba. I don't do that. I take the seam where the, like, okay, here's where the zipper's going to be. I close up that seam with a very loose stitch, a basting stitch, close the seam up, open the seam out, put the zipper flat down on it, zip down both sides of it, stitch it down, turn it over, pull out the basting stitch, zip, zipper. This hoodie situation on this jumpsuit, because it's like supposed to be made out of a fleece, it has it being just one layer that you then fold back the front edge and clean up the inside. Because I'm using something nubby that I'm going to use on the body and also for the head, I'm going to line it. So I'm doing 2 layers of it that I'm going to close up the front seam. I'm cheating. Okay, so the inside will be fleece, the outside will be that textured situation, which I just realized, oh shit, I want to cut the actual fabric tonight. I hadn't washed it. I always wash fabric wash it and dry it before I'm going to stitch on it, because you want to get all the sizing out and the shrinkage and any of that stuff. Once the entire thing is built and done and completely finished, I will sink wash it, I will hang it in my shower to dry, and then I will COVID safe, like with sanitized hands and a mask on and a safe plastic bag, I will COVID pack it up. But I will always wash something before I send it out to somebody. And for this one, I will end up getting woolite because it's for an infant. Anyways, I wanted to show you also, because I'm opening up, I just stitched both the front and the back of this little hood piece. So the seam along this whole top edge, which on this one I just pressed open, okay? I use a tailor's ham. Look at this wonderful tool. I'm probably not gonna be able to, let me see if I can do this on video. Well, I mean, I can use this edge here. It's not gonna stand up. Here, stand up. I can use this edge here to like put the fabric, open this. Oh God, see, look, this is where we get into problems. This is where I absolutely need a film crew. Martha Stewart, where are you? Yes. See, like I can open this up onto the tailor ham here. Open, this is easier with 2 hands, not holding a camera, but look at me now. I can open this up and steam iron my seam open along a curve. That's what we're doing now while we're waiting for that stuff in the washer, which will go in the dryer. I also very wisely threw in a color catcher with it because it is red. And because I was doing a lot of laundry, some of my black t-shirts and shit are in there with it too. It's fine. It's all going to get washed later on. So, you know, economize, right? All right, back to work. Well, folks, you know it's getting serious when I pull out the tripod so I can be hands-free for a video. I finished my little muslin mock-up. Look how teeny-weeny it is. I just put 1 foot on it because I don't need to do it. Look at his teeny little foot. So now I've got a pattern I can work off of to figure this out. The toughest thing to pattern now over this to make a Firebird for me is going to be the beak. So, look, I have a fit model. So I had this in here inside of his head so I could figure out, okay, where does this beak want to be? And I want it to extend just a little over his face and come to a peak. So that was first a matter of paper patterning a bottom like such. Does that make any sense there? And then figuring out the side. So ended up going from paper patterning to a little bit of stiff to make a spine in the center. And then I went into, I've got stiffened felt. So I was going from paper to stiffened felt and making this. So this is on my tailor's ham again, but I've made with a cardboard spine and then just stiffened felt. I used just fabric to kind of pin and place and figure out and trace what I've got. I think I've got what's gonna look like a pretty good beak. That's, you know, that's a halfway. So I'll do it out of another fabric, and also it'll be softer, and I can stuff it a little bit so it won't be so stiff. But that was I think I nailed it on the first go round. I'm excited. And you know, it's funny doing the curves on this. I've got a set of French curves. They're these amazing. You've seen them. Drafting people will use these things too. Just amazing, different. There's a million angles I don't need, but when I'm, you know, trying to trace down the beak, I can do like, you know, this much of this, flip it, this much of this, flip it. So I'm getting a curved line that I like. It just dot, 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 dot. So that's what I've been playing with. The tabletop is a freaking, yeah, you got to see the tabletop. Let's take a look at here. So we've got, yeah, the pattern I've been using, the craft scissors, pins I was using to shove into this, you know, the tailor's ham to kind of keep it all together and nailed down. Paper, I've got also, this is a ruler that actually bends. It's a flex ruler, so I can figure out, okay, across the top of his face, I want it to be 4 inches. Woo, more pins, more things, French curves. Oh, Lord. But I'm pretty psyched that I was able to pattern the beak, and now I'm going to try it out of actual fabric and see how it comes out, maybe with a little stuffing, and that's that I can work onto the body. So update and out. Guess what? Chicken butt. Guess why? Chicken thigh. Well, actually, phoenix thigh. Just made these little thighs. Look at this. Look at this. So, can we see this today? Can we see? So, I patterned what's going to be his belly and his thighs. The thighs I'll stitch on once it's all together. And this, once I patterned it out of muslin. And I did a thigh pattern out of muslin after I markered on my body where I wanted it to go. Cut it out of fleece and backed it with this. This was the tongue of an Audrey 2 I made years ago. I had leftover fabric from that, so that's what that became. This still looks rough because this whole edge here will get stitched into the seams all the way down to here. And then it will, where it pops out right there, that's where it will then be free floating. And what I did on the back of this side, I've already put snaps because it'll line up to the shoulder and the underarm and the sides so that once he's zipped in, he can then be snapped in his little belly. And the edges will all have feathers around, so you won't see any of that business. And then these thighs, I'll just hand stitch on over the top. I was gonna maybe stuff this, but I'm like, you know what? It's because it's flat. I'm not getting a perfect read on this. There's gonna be a baby inside of it. It's gonna puff out. The thighs I might puff up a little because they're not sealed up yet because I'm going to hand stitch them on. So I could add some padding to the thighs. We'll see about that. But I'm kind of psyched about this. Oh, and that beak that I made last night, I hate it. I hate it. I'm redoing it. Actually, I'm not redoing it. I looked at it and I was like, you know, it's really tall and big. I think I'm going to like take the seam down at the back here, but that's a later. That's the very last thing I need to actually attach onto this thing. So I'm going to worry about that beak later. Now it's time to cut the red fleece and just build the body, and then it's time for feathers. So chicken thighs and chicken breast, done. Bum bum. Okay, great, bye. Oh, hello. I realized I better update you on the progress before I keep going and forget to document it. We now have a little red suit. Look, his little footies. And his little thighs are attached. The thighs are only attached at the top right now, so that when I put feathers all under this, I can just put feathers where the legs are, and I'll attach. But he's got a little body. This is all snapped. I'm trying to do this again with one hand and keep the video where you can see what I'm doing. Snaps over the zipper. Hang on. Hang on. Look at me for a second while I unsnap this. There. Okay, so that's unsnapped now, as I had said I was going to do. So that's all snappity snap. Zippers all the way down the leg here, and the snap tape's in place. Now, also attached right now with pins, ta-da, is what's going to be his tail. Right now it looks like a Billy Porter outfit that wear to an award ceremony, but I just did some test leaves. Feathers. They look like leaves right now, but it's going to start being like that way down at the bottom. I did paper patterns, and then this is just that tissue lame that I bought over the felt, which I just stitched. I markered it, and then just stitched it just down the center, just one stitch down the center seam. So these are going to overlap like this and stuff, and then I'll do the back side as well. So it's gonna kind of. I hope this is even filming. Kind of do like that on the back and this on the back and this on the front, so they kind of overlap each other a bit, and then it'll go from that to oranges into red. So the plan is to also just build these up right over here and everything, so this all obscures all of this leg biz. All right, you see what I'm doing there? I hope that made any sense. All right, I gotta work. Bye. Okay, friends, the train has left the station and I'm on it. Little Phoenix has a hood with feathers. It looks kind of toucan-like. Look at that, though. This cute little teeny baby head. It's awfully big for an infant. I'm gonna say that, but it's here. We see how big. Meh. Also, I've just added just in the fleece what's going to be wings, which I'm going to feather. The object of the game is that you'll see no red fleece at all. You will see this red stuff, but the plain fleece will absolutely be covered in feathers, much like I started doing this test at the bottom. Now I've got 2 different colors of yellow, 2 different colors of orange, and red. So it'll be the brightest yellow to the other yellow to the orange to the brighter orange to the other orange to the red, and just up around. I won't do it on the tail, but just up around here at the top will be a little bit of, and across the back, a little bit of aqua and a little bit of purple, and then into red. So the thing is, I know from seeing pictures of this baby, he likes to lay with his arms up like this, right? I've seen pictures, so I was like, okay, I have to make sure. It's fabric, it'll move. I just wanted to not impinge stop him from being able to lay there like this, because he's an infant. The other thing that I will do 17 times after I've even washed this. Ooh, I just saw a flaw. Oops, I gotta tack that down. Ooh, that didn't stitch. The other thing I'll have to do 17 times before I send this out after I've washed it is feel every inch of it up and down to make triple sure that I haven't embedded a pin anywhere in this, because that would be the worst thing ever. Happy Halloween, baby boy. So anyways, I've got a stitch like the wind today, getting a million feathers, because you can see that that's just the top, and I've got all of the wings and the backs, all of the tail, obscuring the legs entirely and the back, and then doing the little, what will be his legs and talons over that. So I got things to do. So don't bother me now. Bye now.